All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Webheads podcast, the special event podcast. We read through every event in Marvel history.
Was it a good idea? We
Probably,
don't know.
I don't know. I shouldn't give my opinion on that at the beginning of the episode. But we started in 1939. Now we're in the 1990s.
Yeah, finally in the 90s.
Yeah, 92, I believe, is what next week is going to be. 91, 92.
Maybe. I think
Somewhere.
it's 90.
Is it?
I think so, because on the app it just says 1990.
Okay, then we might be. Well, in the app it shows. I think the date it shows is when
it started.
When that book started.
Yeah, so I don't know when the actual first issue came out. Could have came out like later in the year and rolled into 90.
But we're in the early 90s now.
Yeah.
Finally, officially. Thank God. I mean, I'm not saying that we're in the clear.
No.
Because there's still some bad ones.
There's still a lot of where they're trying to throw everything into a panel and exposition and yeah.
But welcome back to the Webheads podcast. This is a fun time for us, for the most part. I am Steven. I'm here with my brother, my co-host,
Demarco.
And we are here to give you this story today, which is nothing, because we're talking Black Panther.
I was confused. I was like, switching
I
it
forgot
on
what
me
we were
again.
doing today. We're talking Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Yes.
Let's get started.
Hello.
I didn't realize until recently how we just haven't been doing an intro. Like, we've just been getting started on shit.
Have we?
Or we start with an intro and then just seamlessly go into everything else without like a pause. So it's just like, hey, welcome to the Webheads podcast. What have you been up to? And then just boom. And we just coast with it. But we got that break today. And we were both a little sick last week.
Mm-hmm.
So we couldn't drop anything. And before that, we were on vacations.
Yeah.
Separate vacations. And you went to Vegas?
Yes. Went to Vegas for the first time.
Nice.
We were supposed to... It was like a 2-part thing. Like, my birthday was like a week and a half prior.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. And then there's also the When We Were Young festival.
Okay.
If you guys aren't familiar with that, it was just a concert with a bunch of different bands. More of the emo and like early to mid 2000s pop punk bands. And they had some newer bands there too, but we were supposed to go that Saturday. Mm-hmm. We were there. So we got to Vegas on Thursday. We were going to stay from Thursday and leave Monday morning. Mm-hmm. So the festival was Saturday. And so Thursday we get there and we get to the hotel. We stay at the Strat. And mm-hmm. I've been, leading up to this trip, I've been very cautious of the hotel and my mindset. Mm-hmm. I already feel very uncomfortable staying in hotels just because other people sleep in there. You know, maybe they're bed bugs, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'm always kind of scared to stay in hotels. So we get to the Strat, get outside, and I'm like, okay, fairly nice looking hotel. You know, we're kind of like in like the end. We're at the very end of the strip. So you're still on the strip, but the very end of it. So we're just kind of like, okay, this will work. We walk into the lobby. All you see is a ton of slot machines, people walking by. I'm like, okay, we're in the Vegas type of thing. It still looks nice, though. Very nice lobby and everything. So we go check in, and then the guy at the desk is like, oh, so we see that you got our, basic room. Did you want to upgrade to the next room for like $40 more? I was like, nah, whatever, it's fine, And so they're like, okay, here's your key card. Your floor is going to be this floor, your room number, blah, blah, blah. So, like, cool. We get up to the room. Let me tell you, this room looked disgusting. Like, think of, like, the most dusty looking 90s room you can think of. And it was that. Carpets brown, bed sheets brown, dresser brown, everything brown. There was like crumbs or something on the desk.
That sounds just old.
The TV wasn't even like a flat screen like on the wall TV. It was like a 2005 plasma TV.
Oh boy. And
I was like sitting there thinking, okay, we're gonna be out and about. We won't be in the room for too long. I can handle it. The air conditioner kicks in for like 2 seconds, and then you hear like this like clicking clacking inside. I'm like, I don't know if that's a rat or if that's just the machinery. I don't want to find out. You know, we're sitting there and I'm just like, this is not what I expected. Danny takes a shower. Like 10 minutes after her through her shower, she calls me into the bathroom. The floor is completely soaked. I'm like, oh, hell no, we're not staying here.
Nah.
So I try calling the front desk. No one's picking up.
You're like, no, you passed.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
So I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, let's just go down to the lobby. So I get down to the lobby. I'm like, hey, like, you guys offered me the upgrade when I got here. Is that still on the table? And the guy's like, yeah, let me check out. And so he's like, oh, yeah, normally we're supposed to delete it off of your profile once you check in, but it's still there, still allow me, so we can still do it. I'm like, cool, we'll take it. Don't care how much.
Please, we'll take it.
So he's like, you didn't like that room, huh? I'm like, you fucker, you knew. You guys knew these rooms are terrible trash. And then I was like, nah. And then so he gives me the new room key. We go up to the new room. So much cleaner, more modern, everything. I'm like, cool, this will work.
I'm sure the pictures on the website didn't show that.
No, not at all. Like, this room looks like it hasn't been touched since the 90s. It looks like they just come in and kind of dust some stuff.
They probably don't. They probably just open the door, make sure nobody's dead.
Yeah.
Okay, close it.
And so we took care of the room. Thursday, we just kind of hung around. We didn't really do too much. Friday, we went to, I forgot, I think it's called like the Illuminarium or something. It's like this big like warehouse. And they have, I don't know if you guys have seen on TikTok, called Omega Mart. It's like a big art installation, but it looks like a grocery store. You can go in there and they have like fake products on the shelves and stuff like that. But then you get to behind it and there's like a whole like interdimensional like stuff to do and like all this. So that was pretty cool. We were there for like an hour and a half, and then there's like a bar in there as well too. So we went to the bar. We were hanging out there, and we were there for a while. We were supposed to go somewhere else after, but we ended up just getting food at a taco truck that was there and hanging out. And then we go back to the hotel, sleep, wake up for the next morning. We're getting ready for the concert, and then Danny shows me her phone, and they say that the show's canceled because the wind advisory.
That wind did look nuts.
The wind was pretty bad. Like, from our hotel, we couldn't see much from the window, but like there were like palm trees like on the side, and those were blowing.
Yeah, I saw videos of like the speakers on the stage like swinging back and forth and shit.
And so like they canceled that. Danny was like heartbroken because she was dying to see like all these bands because like they were some of her favorite bands. So she was like following all these bands on Instagram, seeing if they're going to do any pop-up shows or anywhere and this and that. All American Rejects did a show at a restaurant we went to on Thursday that was like right down the street. And then her favorite band and one of the bands that I wanted to see ended up doing a show like off the strip, like a little bit further, but it was kind of like in like a area that was like very not secluded, but like more like in deserty part. So the wind was blowing and all of just dirt and dust just flying on us. And they wouldn't let us in. We got there 2 hours early, so they wouldn't let us in. And then we were just sitting in the dirt and dust. People didn't know that they had to buy tickets to even get in, so they were just waiting out there. And then it was coincidentally one of the bands that I wanted to see. When we were coming down the elevator, leaving the hotel to try to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
He was getting on the dude was getting on the elevator, and the door's open, and I look at him, and I was like, huh? And then he kind of like looks at everybody on the elevator and just like, and then he gets on, we get off, and then Danny was like, was that? I was like, I think it was. And then we were like kind of freaking out. She was like, damn, we should have asked him like where the show's going to be at, this and that. But we ended up seeing him at the show anyways.
You just stay on the elevator and just wait?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm going back up.
So, yeah, we got to see that like secret show or whatever. And then after that, we headed back to the hotel. I can't remember if it was the day before or I think the day after we went to the Strip. They always like picture Vegas. They always make Vegas look like it's going to be all this fun and always stuff to do and this and that. It's really not. I mean, it is definitely an experience of what you make it. So, like, if you are a club person or, you know, this and that, then you're going to find that stuff and, you know, have a good time. Or if you just want to gamble, you can literally go anywhere and gamble. On Thursday, we found a Safeway. Also, don't go north of the Strip. That's more like Oakland, like San Leandro.
Perfect.
So we went to Safeway to get some snacks and stuff for the room. And even in the Safeway, there's like a small casino. And it looked like the saddest, like, you're on your last, like, 5 cents type of casino. But it was there.
Go use your change from your grocery shop.
Yeah. And so, like, we went to the Strip. It was fine. It was just a bunch of casinos. And a lot of them are, like, the casinos are nice, but then they have, like, high-end stores and stuff. Prada, Gucci, all that stuff. So it was whatever. And then I think on Sunday, I forgot what we did, but we gambled a little bit. Didn't come home with much.
Usually how it goes for most people.
Yeah. And then, yeah. I mean, other than that, it was a fun experience. It wasn't exactly what we thought it was going to be. But it was fun. We had a good time. I don't think we'd go back again for a little bit longer. But yeah. Not bad.
Not bad.
Just definitely try to figure out what your room looks like before you get it.
And also a quick thing on bed bugs. Always check the posts, like the feet of the bed, because that's usually where they're hanging out at if they're there. And always check that before you just put your stuff down.
Yeah.
Like, leave your stuff by the door and then check that.
And we always, after we check, we always we bring our own sheets anyways. So,
but yeah, with the bed bugs, bring your own sheets.
It doesn't help, but like definitely.
But they also
check bed bugs and then
don't
put your own
wash
sheets
the
on. Yeah.
So unless they see some kind of fluid on it, they're not changing those sheets. So, all right, that's not bad. I went to Denver.
Nice.
With our father.
Nice.
Yeah. So we both flew out Saturday. It was a quick trip. We flew out Saturday. We surprisingly both got in from different cities about the same time. I think he got there maybe 20, 30 minutes before I did. Sorry. And then when we first got out there, that airport is huge.
Isn't it like the biggest airport in
I wouldn't be
North
surprised.
America or something?
Like, we had to get on like a quick little subway ride from the terminals to baggage claim.
Oh.
And that wasn't the little subway train was at least like a 2-3 minute ride. I don't know how far it was, but that place was huge. You're not walking to get your bags. So yeah, we got there, got our bags. And then check-in still wasn't for like maybe 3 or 4 hours. So you're like, my plan was to go to I guess it's called Mile High Comics. It's the biggest comic book store in America. And it wasn't everything I thought it was going to be. So it technically is the biggest one. And it's a big-ass warehouse. It's huge. But, like, half of the store is, like... I think they're using, like, half the store for storage. And the rest of it's, like, comic stuff, memorabilia, action figures, statues, stuff like that. A lot of older stuff. So I wasn't too thrilled about that. I'm glad I didn't wait to get my comics for that week and get them there, because I didn't see any of the ones that I was looking for. They had the section for new stuff or comics that had come out that week was really small. Like,
it's weird.
Really, really small. Like, it was one shelf.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I hate when
but like that. Two sides of a shelf, but it was just one shelf in that big ass store. It's mostly it seems like it's mostly like collectibles and like older stuff. They had some trade paperbacks and omnibuses and stuff like that, and that section's a hell of a lot bigger. But yeah, all the new stuff was like nah. Yeah. So it was a little bit lackluster, a little underwhelming for me. But when I left, I talked to the guy and asked him if I could leave some of the stickers for the show. Because when you leave, there's a table where they have a whole bunch of free stuff. So I asked him if I can leave some stickers there. He said, yeah. So I left a good amount of them. So now our stickers are in Colorado somewhere.
I was going to bring some to Vegas, and when we were waiting at the baggage claim, I saw stickers on the carousel. Yeah. I was like, oh, I should have slapped some on there.
I didn't even think of the carousel for Southwest in Oakland didn't have anything. So they were probably checking for that shit. But I had like 3 or 4 of them on my suitcase. So I know somebody saw it. But yeah, the Mile High Comics was a little underwhelming for me. And then after that, we grabbed something to eat. It's a quiet city.
Really?
Like, yeah. There's there wasn't hella cars driving everywhere. There wasn't like hella people in the streets. A lot of the houses are made of brick, which was surprising. I don't know why I noticed it, but it was a lot. And yeah, it was just really quiet and not enough people of color that I saw. I don't hate white people or anything, but I feel a lot more comfortable when there's people that are my shade or darker, and I didn't see tons. I'm being completely honest with you. I saw less than 2 handfuls of black people the whole trip. Like, the whole time we were there. 3 days we were there. Less than 10. It was nuts. But there was like, so that first day we just ate. We got some lunch at this place called Bird Call. It was just like all chicken sandwiches and chicken strips and stuff. It was good. And we went back to the hotel, just chilled. And then the next day was the game. And because I don't see Dad that often, I forgot some of his little quirks and tendencies. So it was funny and interesting to see that out in the real world again. But it was cool. The game was cool. Being around that many Broncos fans was a first for me, and it was cool. Our seats were literally the last row at the top.
Oh damn!
It was probably like the second to the last row at the top, but it wasn't. Those were not bad seats at all. Like, the players still looked like they were hella close. It was hella loud in there. The people behind us were annoying as shit, but it was cool. It was definitely an experience. I would go back. Oh, and then the day we left, we did a tour of the stadium.
Nice.
Yeah, which was cool. They take you through all the expensive areas, the press boxes, the box seats, all that stuff. I guess they do They do proms and stuff at the stadium. They do dance, like homecomings, stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that would be wild to have your dance floor in the middle, like 50-yard line. But it also seems like it'd be really cold out there. And we got to see the visiting team's locker room, and then we got to go down to the field. We couldn't get on the field because they were taking off all the paint, but we were on field level, and we could take pictures like in front of it. So it was cool. The weather wasn't bad. I think the day we were, but it didn't feel that bad. I felt colder when I got here, and it was 60. So yeah, it was cool. We were taking a vacation with him, and we didn't do tons of that stuff growing up. So it was cool. I would go back to Denver, but I would do it the same way, like fly in the day before, go to the game, and then just take off. Because it's not like maybe I didn't explore enough of the city, but I mean with Dad, like,
yeah, there wasn't much you were going to be able to.
And he's not really like doesn't want to be out there with the people really.
Yeah.
So, and my name wasn't on the rental car, so couldn't just take it. But yeah, it was cool. It was a nice little trip. Like I said, it was fun hanging out with Dad. I got to knock something off my bucket list, and yeah, I definitely want to go to a Broncos game again next year somewhere else. Especially since I can't go to like a Broncos Raiders game out here anymore. So we'll see.
Oh, that was something I was going to ask you about Denver. Like, because it's a mile high, was it weird to like breathe or anything?
So when I was wearing a mask the whole 3 days we were there. In the car ride with Dad, in the hotel, I was wearing a mask like nonstop. When I first got there, like literally when I got off of the plane, it felt like it was like I was definitely breathing heavier, but I adjusted pretty quick. I think it's mostly more for athletes where they have it's a different change for them, but for just regular people, it's like whatever. Like it lasts. Like I was breathing heavy for like maybe the first 5 minutes or so, and after that, it was like whatever. Yeah, you don't even notice it really. It does. The air out there did feel like more clean, and you could tell there's just not as many people out there, so it definitely felt cleaner. But yeah, no traffic really. Like out here, we're dealing with traffic on like Saturdays and Sundays and shit now. Out there, we were coasting everywhere. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, I will say at least for our trip to Vegas, we didn't rent a car, which was like not good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because everything is on the strip, but the strip is just really long.
Yeah.
So it's like we were Ubering everywhere, and then Ubers weren't too bad. They were maybe like $13 to $17, but I mean that adds up. You know, if you're especially in a day, if you're going to all these different places. So yeah, I'm glad you guys got a car and like you don't have to sit in traffic.
Yeah, we were originally thinking about not getting one, and then Dad was just like, "Oh no, we should probably just get one." So like, we want to go get stuff to eat, or we need to go to the store or something. We don't have to keep calling for an Uber. And then the day of the game, he was like, we were trying to find parking before we left. We were like searching for it, and there was all these places that were like a mile out that were like it had parking, but it was like $10. So it was like I could walk a mile or whatever. And then he was like, "Oh, maybe we should just take an Uber over there." And our hotel wasn't far. It was maybe 10 miles from the stadium, if that. And then he checked the night before because you can like kind of see like if I leave at this time, what time or how much is it going to cost? And then you can book it early, I guess. So he checked, and then it was like $40 to get to the stadium. And he was like, That's not too bad. Like, parking might be 25 or whatever. We don't have to deal with the parking. But then I was like, okay, that's, like, I'm down with it. But then we also have to think about trying to find one after the game.
Yeah, because that's going to surcharge and everything.
So I guess he tried to book one for after the game, but he was like, we don't know how long the game is. So he just did it for like 3 hours later, and then it was like $45 or something. So I was like, that's like $90 just to get to the game. So he was like, nah, we'll just drive. And then we drove, and then their basketball stadium for the Nuggets is like literally next door to the Broncos stadium. So I guess the Nuggets open up their parking as well, so you can park over there. And it's like a 10-minute walk. So it wasn't bad. And we didn't pay for parking.
Nice.
Yeah, the guy was, we got to the thing, and the guy was like, oh, it's $20. And Dad, like, pulled out a 20 from his pocket. And the guy was like, oh, no, I can't take cash. And Dad was like, oh, okay. And then the guy was like, no, just go ahead. Just go. And Dad was like, you sure? Like, I have my car. He's like, just go. You're good. He was like, all right, hit that gas and just go. That shit was funny, though. And then he told us where to park. And then 5 minutes later, some other guy pulls up in like a golf cart. So we were like, oh, no, like they must have found out that we didn't park. And then the guy was like, no, you guys can't park here. It's like, fuck, man. Like, the guy just let us go. Like, did he snitch on us? And then he's like, no, you just can't park on this side. Like, you got to park over there. And we were like, all right. And we ended up getting closer to the stadium. So, but there, you know, the only thing that sucked was their tailgating. Like, I think I'm just so used to, like, walking through Raiders tailgates. Like, their tailgating was trash. It was just hella separate cars, like, doing their own thing. Like, nobody was really, like
they were with each other.
Yeah. Like, everybody had their own little tent, their own little cooler, their own little barbecue. And, like, we were in like I said, the Nuggets parking area. So we weren't at the actual stadium where they were doing their parking. But even at the actual stadium, it's like nobody really gives a shit. Like, nobody was doing anything. And yeah, it was just weird. Like, everybody was just chill, just like sitting there, like, just drinking their beers at fucking 12. And just chilling. Like, nobody was yelling at each other. Nobody was, like, those hella Jets fans, nobody was flipping them off. Nobody was, fuck the Jets. Like, even when the Jets won, there was so many Jets fans there that they started their own Jets chant in the stadium. And then as we were leaving, all you hear is just a Jets chant for like 10 minutes as we get out of the stadium going through the thing. I was like, oh, they ransacked this whole place. But even the Broncos fans, nobody was like, hey, shut the hell up. I saw somebody at a Raiders game get beat up because they were wearing a Redskins jersey. And they weren't even playing the Redskins at that time. This guy just had on a Redskins jersey, and he got beat up. And it was a Sean Taylor jersey after he had passed. And the guy in the Raiders fan was just so pissed off that he had a Redskins jersey. He's like, fuck Sean Taylor, fuck you, and then socked him in his face. I think, sadly enough, I think the Raiders are just conditioned me to
They're just bred different.
I was kind of disappointed in that shit. I was like, oh, you guys are just really here just, like, loving life. What the hell is this? Oh, by the way, I got these Marvel Arizona collab drinks. Super Elixir. Shit's kind of trash. It's I don't know what to say about it. It's not great. I thought it was supposed to be more like a Gatorade kind of thing, because it's a hero hydration. But it has a flavor that I just can't pinpoint, but I don't love it. And this is the third one that I've tried. So
You got all the flavors?
Yeah, the box I got gives you one of each.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm not loving it. But Yeah, that was my trip to Denver. I don't have any more trips planned anywhere anytime soon.
Same. Nothing soon. Oh, also in Vegas. Fremont Street, trash.
I kind of figured.
It's literally just a long strip of restaurants, and not even like nice restaurants, but just like, hey, I'm hungry. Let's just jump in here and grab some food.
Yeah.
And like gift stores.
It's just an outdoor mall.
Yeah.
It does. Every video I've seen of it, everybody tries to hype it up. It's like, oh, we have zip lining.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to do it.
So. I'm going to zip line past McDonald's. No, thank you. Every video that I've seen of Fremont Street is just like the same thing. And it's like, nah, that's not bringing me to Vegas.
Yeah, I feel like when you go to Vegas, like the amount of time we stayed was longer than what we should have stayed. Like I feel like maybe like 2 or 3 days would have been, like 3 at max. I think would have been good.
Yeah, that's the same as my Denver thing.
Yeah,
like I don't. Even when I was looking it up before I left, like what to do out there, like just like chill spots to check out. It was mostly just like a few bars, a few stores, but like nothing was like, oh, like you gotta check this out.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. We had Sonic for dinner one night. Like we weren't doing anything special. It was chill though.
That's good.
Yeah, our dad's an interesting person. He made it a good trip though. Yeah, and for him and I personally, it was a good trip. For him and other people, it might not have been a good experience. But yeah, today we are.
There's another movie coming.
We're traveling elsewhere to Wakanda.
This is our Black Panther Wakanda Forever special episode.
Yes. I completely forgot. I didn't forget the movie was coming out, but I forgot we did a podcast for a little bit.
I feel like, at least for me, there's been so much going on in like my life that like I didn't forget the movie was coming out, but I just didn't associate the fact that we're doing a Marvel podcast and the Marvel movie. Like it totally just blanked from my mind. And I was
it didn't come up in my head until 2 days ago. I just didn't think of it. And this is like the movie I've been most excited for this year. And I think, so much stuff has just happened in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I never put 2 and 2 together. But here we are.
Black
Panther.
At the time of this recording, about a week away from?
No, 3 days.
3 days? Oh, yeah.
When this comes out Tuesday
Well, the time of recording, a little over a week, but when it releases, 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the sequel to what was, I think, the highest grossing Marvel movie that year, or second highest grossing. I know it had some sort of ranking, pretty high up there. But Black Panther.
Yeah. 2017?
18.
18?
Yeah.
When it came out. So 4 years ago. That movie, when it came out, I've seen plenty of black movies, good and some bad. But I've never had an experience like that before with, I guess just so many people being like proud.
Yeah.
Of seeing a black superhero on like one, not just on screen, but a black superhero being the main character, and most of the cast being black, and it's a predominantly white story up until this point. It was great.
Yeah.
I got good seats at the theater, and it was one of those like Endgame Infinity War Endgame experiences, like everybody there was just locked in, just like,
yeah.
oh, like there's some people crying, there's some people laughing, like.
And I don't know about the listeners and where you guys are from, but us being from the Bay,
Yeah,
and everyone talks about this, but in the beginning of the movie when it says Oakland, California,
the
theater
crowd
went
lost it.
wild.
That whole theater lost it. I was in. We watched it in Pleasanton, and everybody lost it.
Yeah, it was just a great feeling. Yeah. I don't know why, but it's just like,
and I think it's because nobody like, and we weren't doing the show then, so I wasn't really like super checking on like what's going on, who's the cast, who's the characters. Yeah. But I don't think anybody expected that part, and all it just said Oakland.
Yeah,
California.
It just said Oakland, California.
That was it. And but as soon as it popped up, the whole audience lost it. Yeah, clapping, everything.
I still hold that in like maybe like top 3 movie going experiences.
Yeah.
Like there's Captain America picking up the hammer and people going wild for that. Mm-hmm. The everybody returning from being dusted, everyone going wild for that. And then the movie experience of just going to go see Get Out with the full theater, and everybody like the intensity and and just feeling the energy in the theater for that was like on a totally different level. But then I also remember, Black Panther is going to be in there. Just that Oakland part.
Was like, that was that. Yeah, it was the same things were for me. I didn't see Get Out in theaters, but. Yeah, when Cap screams Avengers Assemble, like that was nuts. Yeah, when he picked up the hammer, and when he's picking up the hammer and it just starts lifting, and then everybody's just like super quiet.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see who it goes to. It's like, yes. Like I just remember everybody losing it. But Black Panther was like a full on experience.
Yeah.
Like everybody, like those people dressed up. Those people, like, I don't go to too many like opening days, like premieres, where like you might see some people like dressed up in their costumes or whatever. Like I don't ever see that when I go because I'm usually like in there like the day after, a couple of days later. But I saw Black Panther like the week after it came out, and there was still people dressed up.
Yeah,
those people in their African clothing and stuff. It was nuts.
Yeah, and it's just the cultural impact of that movie. I don't think anybody suspected was going to happen.
No.
Because, I mean, just looking at it from the outside, it was just another superhero movie, right? We got Black Panther in Civil War. Everybody knew who he was and this and that. And so, like, people were just expecting, okay, another superhero movie with, the bad guy, good guy, whatever. But I don't think anybody really thought before seeing it that you're going to get a fleshed out, not just T'Challa and, we're going to see Shuri for the first time and Okoye and everybody, but, like, we're going to get, like, a more fleshed out Wakanda. Like, Wakanda is also, like, a character in the movie where you kind of get to see, not everything, but you get to see, like, that royal side of how things are handled. And I don't think we had seen anything like that really in any of the movies.
Not too much. I mean, we got some aspects like that with, like, Asgard before. But I think most of it was just all Earth stuff besides, like, Guardian stuff. But, like you said, Wakanda is, like, not a background character, but, like, an overarching kind of big piece of everybody that's from there.
Because, it showed you, like, it wasn't just, here's the king and then here are the people. There's all these different pieces of Wakanda that were totally different and, like, had different cultures almost, but we're still tied together.
Yeah.
And I think that I feel like that's what kind of made people like more proud, because it's like, yeah, it's a fictional country and these are fictional people, but it's like, yeah, you're not just giving us the basic, oh, I'm from this African country and I'm a superhero. Like, you gave us something that was fleshed out. You gave us some history, some, something to just kind of be like, this is a living, breathing people and country. And
yeah, and I think it's good too to like see a person and a country fight for people that we don't ever really get to see anybody fight for. Like in real life, like we have to continuously see black and brown people just continuously catch like the losing end of everything. And yeah, it's a fictional story, it's a comic book character, but to see like one the biggest black superhero that we had seen at this point, and then
and don't forget, people, we had Falcon before this.
Yeah, but like he had to ride like Cap's coattails for a while.
Yeah, he was still psychic, and
yeah,
for the most part.
So like this is the first big one, like his own story.
Yeah,
everything, and to see him like fight for his people, fight for his country, and you see that it's just all black people. Like it just felt good to finally like see that.
And the movie had so much like power behind it. Not just like the acting, of course, was really good.
Mm-hmm.
The direction and like the cinematography, it was good. The soundtrack was good. Like all those pieces coming together, like really like made the movie so much more powerful.
Yeah. Oh, the soundtrack was amazing.
Yeah. Not and both soundtracks, like the one with like that Kendrick like curated, and then the one that Ludwig
the
Garrison
whole, like,
did.
Yeah,
like the whole score.
Yeah.
Both of them were really good.
Yeah.
And it's just, it felt like a lot of people were just putting a lot of like love and attention into this movie.
Yeah.
Just to make it something special and not anything that you're going to forget about, like once you leave the theater.
Yeah. And I hope it's the same for this one. Just so it's not like, because I don't think in any way it's gonna flop at all.
No.
But I hope that people show out for this one just the same way they did for the first one. I also hope that they show out for the Captain America movie when it comes out too. But yeah, this was the whole push and everything behind the first one when it came out. I did not expect any of that. Like I didn't expect to be hearing stories about Marvel stuff on the news every day, and like the numbers it's breaking, and just all these people, like the outfits, the costumes, the little kids. It was we just don't get stuff like that anymore. And now in this one we get, like, you're gonna see probably the same thing. There's gonna be new younger kids that are seeing this for the first time. I don't know if the Black Panther is gonna be who I think it is, but you're gonna probably get more little girls into this. I mean, the little Mexican boys and girls with Namor and that whole Aztec thing that they're rolling with. It's gonna be. I think this one's gonna be special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I hope. Yeah, I'll get into that in a second, but.
Yeah, this one I'm. Of course, this one's gonna be. It's gonna be special in its own way because it's the farewell to Chadwick Boseman. Like they had to rewrite the whole script after he had passed. And of course, with sequels, sometimes they're better. In the case of Spider-Man 2 versus Spider-Man. Sometimes they're not good.
Dark World.
Iron Man 2. I don't think this is going to fall in that category of not good. I feel like it's going to be tricky. And I have confidence in the people behind it that they do know how to write a story that touches on and is a tribute to him, but also continues the story in a way that makes sense and uses the characters that we already have to, kind of push their story forward, but also maybe we don't know how it's going to connect too much to the entire MCU, but to push whatever, they need to push in the phase as well.
Yeah, because this is the last of phase 4.
Oh, damn, that's quick.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to see how they use Shuri, Okoye, M'Baku, and Namor, and the whole, I forgot what they're not calling it Atlantis now, but I forgot what they're calling it. But I'm excited to see how those two are going to come together, because it seems like at some point Wakanda is going to be flooded.
Yeah.
And I can only assume Namor is the reason for that.
Yeah, I would assume so. I don't know why, but I was for some reason under the assumption that Wakanda was deeper towards the middle of Africa.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I can't tell anybody why I thought that, but for some reason I thought that's where it was.
I think in Iron Man 2 on that map, I think it's
that might be it.
Right in the middle.
So flooding it from the coast, Africa's huge. Africa is a very huge place. So he's got to get through a lot of countries to really get to Wakanda. But I could be wrong.
And there hasn't really been too much talking, or at least that I've seen or heard, about what the actual plot of the movie is.
No.
Besides the fact that T'Challa has passed, and that's pretty much, and how everyone's handling the passing of, their king.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. There hasn't really been too much of what Namor is actually after, or maybe they're being pitted against each other. So I think this will be and I've watched the trailers, but I feel like this is going to be one of those movies where I go in unusually blind.
Yeah.
Than my other, the other Marvel movies that I watch.
Yeah, the rest of this week I'm not checking anything Black Panther, because what happened is those TikTokers that got invited to the premiere a few weeks ago, were really kind of fucking things up for me.
Really?
Yeah, they were because they were getting into beefs with each other and spoiling shit, talking about the movie they had already seen. It's cool, you guys got to see it, and cool, you guys are having your little beef or whatever, but just wait, give everybody that couple of weeks, or at least 2 weeks after the movie comes out.
Yeah. And
just stay quiet about it. You guys get to see, half of them got to see the premieres for the shows, see the first 4 episodes. You don't say anything for those 4 weeks, and then all of a sudden Black Panther comes out, and you guys just want to, talk all this shit about, the characters and, get into pieces of the stories, and it's
what's the point of that? Everyone watching your stuff hasn't even seen it.
Yeah. At that point, just go argue in his DMs. I don't want to see this shit. So, they didn't ruin, tons of shit for me, because as soon as one guy said one thing, I completely switched off. I muted his page. I don't want to see anything from this person. And I haven't seen anything Marvel on my TikTok for a while now. But all this stuff, I still don't know tons of shit about what's going to happen, which is good. I prefer to go into it this way now, because I feel No Way Home kind of, we spent 2 or 3 years with rumors
guessing
like every
and,
month, and then we're guessing like, is this character gonna be in it? Is this villain gonna be in it? And then it just kind of like, it didn't ruin it for me. I still love the movie. But I'm sick of the rumor train, the rumor mill that goes around before each one comes around. It's just not, makes it a little bit less fun. Because then you go into the movie and you're like,
you're expecting something now.
Even if you don't like fall into any of the rumors or anything, you're like, oh, is Captain America going to be here? Is Reed going to be in this movie? It's like, and then he's not there, and it's like, oh, okay. So I don't even. It's weird because it's like, yeah, we do a Marvel podcast every week, but it's I don't want to see the. I'm sick of the rumors. I'm sick of the. Oh no, this character's gonna be in it. I got good word. It's like, just leave it alone.
So I looked it up. Namor is the king of Talokan. So no longer Atlantis, which is a good move. We already have Aquaman in Atlantis, so we don't want the comparisons. But listeners of the show know that we have a
very interesting relationship with Namor.
And so with that, are you excited to see their take on Namor, or are you
I'm excited to see their take on him because they've made visual and geological differences towards him, so that part I'm excited to see. He in the comics, everything I've read, even the newest one I'm reading, and I forgot to give everybody what's coming out this week, but sorry guys,
look it up yourself.
I'll get back to it next week. He's always kind of like oh, the world's against me, and I'm gonna kill everybody. And then he switches, and then he's like, no, the world deserves to live, and I'm gonna help save it. And then he goes back. He's always just kind of like a bitch, and it's not, and I don't say that in like it's any gender specific kind of like bitch, but
he's just being a bitch.
Yeah, he's just like you complain about everything, dude. Like, shut up.
It's like he tries to help the world, and then we don't thank him quick enough, and he's like, well, I'm gonna kill everybody.
He's like, he lives his life like me when I play like GTA and like Red Dead Redemption. Like, I was playing Red Dead 2 yesterday, and there's this guy, he's like dying on the side of the road. He's like, help me. I gave him some medicine. He smacked it out of my hand. I shot him. I was like, dude, I tried to help you. You just got torn up by a wolf. I ran over here. I killed the wolf for you. And then you smacked the medicine out of my hand. I don't know what you need help with. I was just trying to help. Bam. And that's pretty much no more. It's just like, hey, I just saved you. And then one guy over there is like, I hate superheroes. Look at all this damage. And it's like,
this is how you treat me?
I saved your life. It's like, no, fam, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about the Red Skull that just fucking ruined my whole home. The places I grew up in, it's damaged. He's like, nah, I'm killing everybody now. And then he just goes on a year-long rampage.
Yeah, like I'm interested to see how they handle him in this movie, because they did so well with Killmonger in the first one. So I'm curious if they're going to go a similar route with a more sympathetic villain. And is Namor even going to be the actual villain in the movie, or because I know
he always has that little anti-hero.
Yeah, and so it's like, it's going to be interesting to see how they tackle his history in the comics of being more like riding that line of villain and hero.
Yeah.
I'm glad they gave him his wings on his ankles.
Yeah. His little baby wings on his feet.
And I'm curious if they're going to make him, if they're going to do it in this movie, or wait, further on if he shows up in anything else and imply that he's a mutant.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's funny because they call him a mutant in the books.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what really makes him a mutant? It's just that his mother was an Atlantean, or was his father?
No,
his
his
mother.
mom.
And then his dad was a human.
Yeah.
And then he was born with the wings on his feet.
So, I mean, he has a mutation.
He has a mutation, but is he a mutant?
But, I mean, doesn't, like, if that's the case, then isn't Spider-Man kind of like a mutant? Like, aren't most of the people here?
I don't think wings on your feet should just signify you as a mutant.
No, I don't think so. That's a nasty power to have. Like, oh, yeah, no, we all transformed. Like, what'd you get? Wings on my feet. It's like I was reading this Inhumans like limited series. It was from like 2004. I forgot what the full title of it was, but like they I don't know if this is a full Inhuman story or if it was just in this story, but from birth to like 12 or like puberty or whatever, they're just normal little kids.
Yeah.
And then once they reach a certain age, they have to go through the Terrigen Mist, and then that's when they gain whatever their power is going to be. So like,
if they get
anything. So they all like the kids would be like everybody like it's like, oh no, he's probably going to grow up and he's going to be like a carpenter or like an athlete or whatever. And then like in the story, like one guy is just like, before he's like super buff, he's like into sports, all that stuff. He thinks he's going to be like on top of the world when he goes through the Terrigen Mist, and then after he just turns into like a monster with dreads. But it's like, yeah, I don't know. Who's a mutant? I don't know. When are we gonna bring him in?
Yeah, I mean, we already got one. Kamala.
Miss Marvel, yeah.
And then
the mutant situation is going to be interesting. I've been rewatching the X-Men movies. And if you're trying to watch them in chronological order,
good luck.
Don't bother. There's so many back and forth things. It doesn't. It ends up not making sense like 4 or 5 movies in, and even the prequels that they made with James McAvoy and all of them, even those don't really piece together very well. So don't do it. Just watch them how you want to watch them.
Just watch them, but use your knowledge of the multiverse that we've learned so far.
Yeah. And
just assume each movie is part of its own universe that's slightly similar to the past one, but different in a way.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be okay because Days of Future Past is like the second movie if you watch it chronologically. And then they're like, oh, at the end of it, I don't care for spoilers. The movie's like 7 years old. But at the end of it, they're like, oh, you just changed like the future for everything. And then the next one is like, I think it's like Wolverine Origins or something.
Well, yeah, technically if you want to.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Wolverine Origins, but then like one character is like super old in that movie that was just super young in the previous movie, and then the movie after Origins, he goes back to being young again. So none of it makes sense. No. But I'm getting off course here. Yeah, they might make a mutant in the movie. I don't think they do it in this.
Yeah, I mean, technically they don't even have to because it's not like that's just something else that then you have to talk about. You know, just have him show up. He has his abilities. Use it how you need to push the story forward, and then at some other movie or down the line or something, he can join up with the X-Men or something.
Yeah.
But we're also getting an introduction of Ironheart, Riri Williams.
Yes, I'm excited about that.
She's going to get her own show on Disney Plus, I think, next year.
She's probably going to be in Armor Wars.
Yeah.
Also.
So, in this one, I don't know if you've seen the toys that have released, but they've shown, I think she has, like, multiple suits. She has her, like, prototype, and then they've shown her, like, I guess, end-of-film suit.
Yeah.
Which looks different from the comics. Looks a little bit, I'm still not sure how I feel about it. I guess I need to see it in live action, but yeah, yeah, we have this relatively new character, making her movie debut.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you think it's gonna go with?
Not well. Not well. There's so many like Iron Man purists out there, and people that are just upset that Robert Downey Jr. is not there anymore. That are they're gonna hate this. Like, no, just give me Iron Man back. Why did you guys have to kill him if you're gonna just bring somebody back different? Like,
my hope is that they give her a good enough reason as to why she chose to go in a closer direction to Iron Man than to like do it, something different, right?
yeah.
Like Spider-Man could have he kind of did. This is a bad example, but like he could have went more into like Iron Man armor and like used his powers that way, but he went in the direction of being Spider-Man. So like I hope in some way she is like, oh yeah, I looked up to Tony Stark. He did this by the time he was 13 and blah 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 blah. And so maybe she's trying to incorporate Wakandan tech and Stark tech, or her love for Iron Man into that. So I'm hoping it makes sense and it's not just like we're introducing this character just because she's going to get a show, and we need you guys to understand.
Yeah, you have to give her some kind of character development in this movie.
Yeah,
because like when Black Panther showed up in Civil War, like a general comic book person is gonna know who Black Panther is, and then you can give him his whole story in Black Panther, but Ironheart, you can't just throw her in and like hey, I got a suit, and it looks just like Iron Man. I'm here. Like you have to spend some time introducing her and like giving her some kind of backstory here, because it's not gonna make any kind of sense to just throw her in. She shows up with a suit, and then we don't see her again for another year or two. Like you have to give us something here.
And I know some characters, like, because I know we're getting a lot of the characters that we got in the first movie. We're getting the, Namor's characters, Atuma. I don't think she's going to be called Namorita in this one, but...
That sucks. I was really hoping for that.
But we're getting her as well. So I feel like Ironheart's gonna.
That's such a cop out on a name too. I can't think of any name for her. I don't know. She looks like Namor. She's a girl. Namorita. Okay, yeah. Let's roll with it. I can't think of anything else. Sorry for the coughing fit from all of us, guys.
But yeah, like I know Atuma's not going to be a factor into the movie very greatly. I feel like he's one of those he's one of those characters that's just going to be there but not do much.
Yeah,
which is fine. I mean, maybe he's pulling the strings in the background, pitting them against each other. That's what I'm assuming. I don't think Namorita is going to do much of anything either. So I feel like Ironheart's gonna kind of be like that. She's in the beginning, maybe see her a little bit in the middle, but it's gonna be like that support at the end to kind of help with whatever issues going on.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Atuma falls into it, because I haven't read too much in the comics where Namor is like on his villain shit and Atuma's around, because it's usually Atuma's the one who's like, I want to wreck everything.
Yeah,
let's tear it all apart. And Namor's like, no, like I'll kill you before you touch any of them. But I haven't read too much where I don't think I've read anything where they're kind of both like villains,
yeah,
or villain-ish. So in the background, kind of like forcing Namor's like finger to push the button and just shoot. So it's gonna be interesting.
Do you think? I know it's already full of like characters, and we're getting so many new characters that we have to. It's going to be a balancing act to kind of give us enough backstory and everything.
Yeah.
But do you think there's going to be any? Would you like any like surprise cameos or connections to the overall? Do you feel like this should be more like its own thing in the MCU and not really connect to any of like the bigger stuff right now?
I've been trying to figure out how they're going to piece together this Young Avengers team. Because they had Nick Fury kind of going around and like picking his pieces for the Avengers. But he's off Earth. We still haven't got Secret Invasion? So he's not coming back anytime soon. And I'm just I want to see, I think, I don't know if this is going to happen, but I would maybe like to see it happen since this is the end of Phase 4. Maybe we see the person who's going to be putting that team together, that Young Avengers team, especially since we have Ironheart here. We have a good chunk of the Young Avengers team already out there. So I would maybe like to see somebody who's going to take that Nick Fury spot for the time being and put that team together. But, I wouldn't mind if Riri Williams was the first person they put on the team, or the first person they recruit.
Yeah.
Especially since she has the costume, or not the costume, the suit, and we're gonna see at least a little bit of the action she can put down. So I think that's the only thing I might want to see.
Do you think their Young Avengers team, because so far we've gotten like the comic accurate Young Avengers, but they're also incorporating just any young hero that they have into what it seems like the team. So do you think we're going to get like a true Young Avengers with a Iron Man counterpart, Captain America counterpart, Hawkeye, Elena's the new Black Widow, so you think she's going to be on it? Like,
I don't know. I don't know because what's his name? Is it Isaiah Bradley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I think Isaiah's the older one, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can't remember what his grandson's name was.
Yeah.
But we got him, who's probably gonna be in there, or who everybody keeps saying he's gonna be in there. Miss Marvel, Ironheart, Kate Bishop, the twins.
We got Scar.
And I mean that does kind of give us the basics of what the first team was. I don't know if they'll put Yelena in there because she's gonna be in the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
But she is. I mean, she's young enough to put in there. But also, I don't know. I mean, because when I keep saying Young Avengers, I keep in my head thinking, like, it's a whole bunch of kids. Oh, then America Chavez.
Oh, we also got Stature as well.
Yeah. But it's a whole bunch of kids between like, it seems like 15 and like early 20s. So yeah, I guess they have a Hulk character. They have a Captain America-ish character.
I mean, and that's what in the books, that's what they were. They were counterparts to the classic Avengers team.
Yeah.
But I just don't want them to just keep doing like the same kind of stories over and over, just refreshing the team members,
That's the difficult part. It's because you can't keep giving us the same alien invasions, the crazy robot that's going to take over the world. You can't give us the same things.
Yeah.
So, and then you also have to have, like, are we not going to have, like, an actual Avengers team anymore?
Yeah.
Because then if you have an actual Avengers team, what are the Young Avengers fighting? Because I don't want to see the Young Avengers just being, like, extra help for the regular Avengers. Yeah. So you have, it's difficult, but I think Kevin Feige has been expanding all of this for the last 2 years.
Give that man a break. I feel
he definitely needs it, but he's not giving it to himself.
I feel like he just like he's doing a whole lot. He's giving us a whole lot. And hey, maybe it is his choice, and he wants the shows coming out right here and this and that.
I mean, he's the president,
but like, I feel like you're being stretched too thin, my man.
A little bit.
Give yourself a vacation.
It's definitely what it seems like. Like his whole like, I thought like a lot of my life was Marvel being on this podcast. That man is nothing but Marvel.
He lives it. Literally.
Yeah. He needs to let the robot take over for a little bit. That robot had things handled. Just let him do it. Because you have to keep expanding.
Yeah.
You can't just, I don't know how to do it. Off the top of my head, I can't think of a way to, I don't know what the Young Avengers fight. But I mean, a regular Avengers team, I don't know if we have enough for that.
Yeah, at least not right now.
Because Doctor Strange is off-world now. We don't really know if Hawkeye's coming back.
Yeah, I think someone asked Kevin Feige, and he said that there's no Avengers team right now.
All we have is Captain America and Falcon, really.
Which is really convenient for all the villains that are just like,
yeah,
I'm not going to attack or do anything right now.
Now's the time.
Now's the time, dude. Yeah. Like, you should have been plotting this.
You should see this as a perfect opportunity. There's not a better time to do this. You have two people that can probably, if they get in your way, maybe stop you. But if you bring enough, they can't.
Most likely, I mean, for the most part, you just have Captain America.
That's it, really. I mean, Hulk's back around, but he's not really in the fighting business at the moment. Wanda's God knows where. Like I said, Doctor Strange is off Earth.
Vision's off doing.
We don't even know if that Vision wants to be a part of anything.
Thor is off. Yeah, nobody's really.
There's nobody. Now's the perfect time.
Wong will show up anywhere.
Wong was, yeah. Yeah, he might be late, but he'll show up. He's catching up on all of his shows right now.
Him and Madison.
She was such a great character. I wish they had more of her in there. She was that. I still like that show too. I don't understand anybody's frustration with it.
Yeah, She-Hulk was a good show.
I don't think it needed 9 episodes. I think there's one episode in there that I just didn't care for, but it was good.
Yeah.
Werewolf by Night was amazing.
That was fun.
Yeah. The Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special is coming out in a few weeks.
Oh, yeah.
I think 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks from.
I'm really excited about the Marvel presentation things.
The special presentation.
Special presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not long enough to be a movie, not a show.
Yeah.
Just gives you the story, and that's it.
That's what I told somebody the other day. These are just like, they're just going to be like Marvel one-shots.
Yeah, they're just longer one-shots.
Which is perfect.
And you can introduce so many characters. Just give them that if you want to. And then they could show up in a movie. They're either their own or whatever.
You could literally do a special presentation for a character like a couple months before a movie comes out. You just introduced us, gave us their whole story, and now all of a sudden, when they're showing up in the very first fight of the movie, I'm not wondering, like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, I know everything.
I was watching Nando movies, and he did one on like top 10 characters that should get a special presentation.
Yeah,
and he gave like specific genres that it should follow and this and that. And he did one for Howard the Duck, and he said his was pretty good. He was like, it should just be like a noir, like detective movie, but play it serious. Like still have like little jokes here and there, but like nobody's really questioning the fact of why this talking duck is like solving a mystery or something.
And then like it doesn't have to. It would be great for introducing characters that are coming up in other stories, but I don't think Werewolf by Night or Man Thing, Elsa Bloodstone, I don't think they're showing up in anything for a while.
Yeah.
So it's like, cool. Give a couple characters just a special presentation. Howard the Duck, let him do his thing. And if he shows up somewhere, he shows up somewhere.
Yeah, but at least you're giving them that little bit of like, here's the character you wanted. He's in the MCU. He's doing his thing. But, at the moment, we just don't have anywhere to put him. So, but at least you have this.
Yeah, I've been really frustrated with, not frustrated, but maybe frustrated with like the casual fans of the MCU, because they came in kind of late and they've been spoiled with this movie leads to this leads to this, and this and this and this, and everything leads to something. But they all came in like phase 3.
Yeah.
So it's like, we all knew that we were leading to something. But with phase 4, it's been like all these beginnings of stories. And they're all frustrated because it doesn't lead to... She-Hulk doesn't lead to this. And Werewolf by Night doesn't make any sense because, like, where did these characters all of a sudden come from? This movie didn't lead to that. And it's getting kind of frustrating, guys. It doesn't, like, not everything here has to lead. It's like it's all in the same universe. It's like it's all part of the same world, but it doesn't have to. Not everything that you're doing is changing your cousin's life across the country. Like, but you guys all live in the same world.
Yeah, like I just like seeing these characters brought to life.
Yeah.
Either whether I know everything about them or I know nothing about them. I just like seeing Werewolf by Night, like seeing a werewolf on screen, or like seeing Man Thing. Yeah. Like I just like seeing, that's how they're going to bring this character to life. They added, a little bit more to make it more lifelike, or like just this or that. So it's like even Elsa Bloodstone, like she's just a woman, but it was still cool seeing her because like they still gave her the outfit and everything, and like I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Now I'm curious to see who else they're going to introduce, in these things, just to kind of see who's back.
Yeah, I'm okay with just like one-off stories and this stuff, just to give me some characters that I might not see ever again. I don't care. Yeah, like I get a one-off. You told me a cool story. Cool. If they show up as like a little side character and something else later on, perfect. If not, then I still got a live-action story. Yeah, I still think that X-Men 97 is probably going to be like that. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with
the MCU. I could see that. I mean, especially now with the multi... And the weird thing is like... And this is getting towards, like, the end of the show, but... Yeah. Before, it's like, this didn't connect with this. And not even just MCU, but, like... And this is more for me, but I was like, okay... I don't have to care for the Spider-Man movies or the X-Men movies anymore because they're not connected to the MCU. But now with the multiverse saga and like the multiverse is like a thing, it's canonized everything now. Yeah. So whether it's the X-Men, Spider-Man, old Blade movies, like those are all still now in the MCU as just different universes.
It's different universes. That's it.
So it's like, cool. Now I have all these movies to.
That's why I went back and started watching the X-Men movies, because most of them I hadn't watched. Yeah, like because it got to that point where it's just like, okay, no, this isn't part of the larger story. I'm not gonna bother with it. Yeah, and then now it's like, okay, so this happened, and it, like in my head, it's just okay. This was a different universe.
So now you can have X-Men 97 still be continuation of the old show, but now it's just part of a multiverse of the MCU. Yeah. If it doesn't connect, or if it does connect somehow, great. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. So
and that's the thing is like it might not connect at any point, and then all of a sudden they start talking about a multiverse, and then all of a sudden, okay, now we're here, and maybe that's how they break in to like the main part of the MCU.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we strayed a little bit from Black Panther stuff, but
we
really.
give the listeners enough.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, man.
Yeah.
There's a Black Panther Wakanda Forever podcast that I saw on Spotify, and the first episode just came out, and they're talking. It's Ta-Nehisi Coates talking to Ryan Coogler, and then the rest of the episodes come out, I think, in January. But that was a tough listen, man. That was a real tough listen. Ryan Coogler said that when he wrote the first script, he finished it, and then before he sent it to the studio, he called Chadwick and asked him if he wanted to read it first, and he said he just looked tired. And then he said, I guess Chadwick Boseman said that he's like, no, I don't want to get in the way of anything that you guys are doing. Just send it off, let the studio make their notes, and I'm down with whatever you're down with. And I guess that was like the last time we talked to him.
Damn.
But, and that sucks, man. He was a good actor.
Yeah.
He's a great actor.
Besides this movie, he did a lot of really good movies.
He did one on Netflix. What was that movie called? It's like 5 something.
Was that the one that Spike Lee did?
5 Bloods?
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked it. He wasn't in a ton of it. He was at a smaller part in it. But he was good in that. There's a couple other ones. But, yeah. It's... Wakanda Forever is going to be emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely is.
Yeah, just hearing Ryan Coogler talk about him, you just hearing somebody talk about him like that, it made me super emotional. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this without crying. He was just so good, and he just seems like a good ass person.
Yeah,
like maybe he knew for a while, maybe he just wanted to make people's lives better when he was around. But yeah, even when he was around, I never saw any interviews of or anything online of people saying they had bad experiences with him. So, Ryan, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Shout out Ryan Coogler. I'm still on the fence about Letitia Wright. She was acting up during the pandemic. But I'm going to give her a pass this time for now. As long as she doesn't turn into Kanye and really go off the rails, I think I'll be okay.
Hopefully not.
We'll see. Shout out Winston Duke. I like that guy.
Yeah, I feel like he doesn't get enough credit for.
Not at all. He's a really good actor too.
Yeah.
And that's what we'll save a actual conversation for it for next week's episode. But that Wonder Man casting, I like that guy. I really like that actor for him.
Yeah, I got something to say about that actually. But we'll save it for next week.
Yeah. So this was the Wakanda Forever episode of the Webheads podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you guys go see the movie, let us know what you thought of it.
Yeah.
We'll put a poll out when that weekend. If any of you weekend people go see it, just to see how you liked it or anything. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
But
I'm still trying to secure my babysitter for this weekend. So yeah, I swear to God, if anybody ruins this for me,
I'm going on Friday. I didn't know this Friday is a holiday.
Oh,
it's Veterans Day. So I usually buy my tickets, for midnight
Yeah.
Or on Fridays because Danny was in school.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's not doing school because she's done.
Mm-hmm.
And we had the holiday, so I was like, damn, I could have bought them Thursday night. And then now I
They've
gotta
been
wait till
showing.
Friday.
They've been doing showings on like Thursday afternoons lately.
Are they?
At least the few theaters that I've seen. Thor: Love and Thunder. When I was looking, they had tickets at the Emeryville Theater at like, I think it was like 1:30 on a Thursday.
Damn.
Yeah, and there's a few other theaters that had it like that too. But so if you guys want to get that Thursday spot, try it, check it. Because I think some theaters open up more tickets too. Like the week of, just to kind of get more butts in the seats.
The hierarchy of power at the movie theater is about to change. Did you hear The Rock say that about Black Adam?
Sorry, Rocky. That's not how it works.
That's all he used to say. And it just became like a meme online.
Yeah.
It's so cringy.
I'm sorry, Dwayne.
The hierarchy of the DC universe is about to change.
Yeah, from the stories I heard, it didn't change much, buddy. It only got worse. But, real quick, shout out to Vanessa. It was her birthday yesterday. Or the
Damn,
4th.
we're in November. I keep forgetting we're in November.
Yeah, her birthday was the 5th, sorry.
Shout out to my cousin Vanessa.
She'll never hear this, but shout out anyways. Greg's birthday, our cousin Greg, his birthday at the time of this dropping was yesterday. And our grandma's birthday, Veterans Day.
Oh, it's like, why are you looking behind me?
I'm thinking, man. Our grandma's birthday is the 11th. So happy birthday, Grandma.
Nice.
Because this is the only one that's going to come out before your birthday. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday to all of you. We love you.
We love you.
Thank you for your support.
Thanks for letting us record at your house. Thanks for slapping the stickers around the gas stations. And, yeah, we're out of here. That's another one down.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Do I hit the red button?